Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. I just want to let you know that I've missed you all. And I know that last week Miss Melissa was talking about consent and that importance about communication with your partner if you are thinking about having sex or, starting to date. Okay, the key is to really talk and to feel comfortable talking about what your needs and wants are, because if we don't have understanding communication, we can't really get consent. And we're going to keep going back to consent. I'm bummed that we're not able to meet with each other, but I just want to make a comment that, if you're out at a party and you're using alcohol or other substances that could change your behavior, it's not the time to ask for consent when someone has been drinking or has been using some sort of substance that alters their personality or how they think. Okay, so resisting sexual pressure. This is a very important lesson. We're going to talk today about about using in making your limits and making sure that you're creating those limits that you're most comfortable with and go with your values. So setting personal limits will help you avoid situations that might threaten your choice to be abstinent. But there may be a time when you find yourself facing pressure to have sex or participate in behaviors that go beyond the limits that you've set for yourself. It is important to think about and practice what you can say and do to stay abstinent in those situations so that you're not convinced to do something you're not comfortable with, okay? Here's a great question for y'all. Have you ever been in another type of situation in which you were being pressured to do something that you didn't want to do, or something that wasn't healthy or safe for you? Take a second to think about this. When I was young, definitely I was pressured to give people homework assignments that I had done when I didn't feel comfortable doing it. Lending people money, stuff like that. So there's lots of situations that you can find yourself that make you truly feel uncomfortable and being pressured to do something you don't want to, okay? So there are many different ways people might pressure another person to have sex. They might use their relationship with a person they're pressuring in some way. So like, if you don't do this, I'm not going to love you. Or if you don't do this with me, if you don't make out with me, if you don't let me touch your breasts, I'm going to break up with you, or I'm going to say that you're a slut or something like that, using the relationship, okay? Then there could be ones where they might suggest that everyone has sex, so it's not a big deal, or the person who's refusing is missing out on something, okay? Everyone does it. It's not a big deal if we do it too, come on. We know everyone's not having sex, okay? And that's important to know. And especially teenagers, most of them are not having sex, okay? You might talk about how sex will feel or suggest that there's something wrong with a person who doesn't want to have sex. So, oh, are you scared? Or, oh, you think that you're not good? Trying to make you prove that you're good and so you actually go through with it, okay? And then there are many different ways to pressure someone, as there are different people in relationships, okay? So these are just examples. Of course, there could be lots of other ones, okay? Pressure around sexual activity can be hard to resist, especially if the person is someone you feel like you're very attracted to, or if the person knows ways to persuade you. The best way to protect your choice to be sexually abstinent is to learn ways to say no, and that will be effective and work every time, okay? How can you say no and people don't believe that you're really saying yes? Sexual activity should always be a matter of choice. It should never be forced upon you. Every person has the right to choose sexual abstinence and to say no to sex. This is true both of people who have never had sex and for people who have had sex before but want to return to being abstinent. A person always has the right to choose sexual abstinence, and no one has the right to pressure or force someone else to have sex. You might have sex with someone and then you decide, I don't want to have sex with them anymore. You can decide to do that and say no, and that should be respected, and that is okay to do, okay? Sticking to a choice to remain absent can be difficult when you feel pressured by another person or a situation. Today, you're going to learn and practice some refusal skills. These are techniques that will help you resist pressure and communicate your personal limits and say no to sexual activity. Okay? The first step is to say no clearly. To make a no statement, you need to use the word no. There's no substitute. You have to say no. You always have the right to say no to things you don't want to do. You also want to give strong nonverbal no. This means you use actions with your body language that support and reinforce the no message. No, 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 no. Okay? These are ways to say no without words. Example, crossing your arms and legs, using your hands for emphasis, making your eyes to say no firmly and walking away. Use a firm tone of voice. Don't laugh or let your tone of voice undermine your refusal. The don't laugh piece is hard, people, because sometimes people laugh. I'm a nervous laugher, so when I get nervous and uncomfortable, I laugh. So people might think it's a joke. You gotta try to control that in that situation, okay? Clearly state your limits. You don't always have to do this, but it can be a way to explain and make your refusal even clearer. So if you say, okay, all I'm okay with is like someone touching my breasts and taking off the shirts or whatever. That's what I'm okay with. If you say that and you make that clear at the beginning, this is what I'm okay with. I'm okay with us taking off our shirts. Perfect. Okay. If it starts going below the pants, the waistline, you say, no, we talked about this. I don't want to go any further. Okay. It's a good way to set a limit before it starts. Repeat the no message as much as needed. If the pressure continues, you may have to say no more than once to get your point across. Continue to say no until the person gets it. You got to keep saying no. Okay? Someone should respect you the first time, but if not, it's important. This is a really nice video. You can pause here, but this is a really good video to watch. Now it's going to come.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find
so this video is great on drawing the line. It talks about a couple that's dating, and it gives like a very good way to get through it and how things can be taken differently, right? By different people in the different situations, okay? Thank you for watching the video. I hope it was informative. If the person pressuring you is someone you still want to have a relationship with, you can suggest an alternative action. This is something you can do instead. Be sure to suggest an activity that gets you out of the situation. Think of something you could do besides being sexual. Be sure it's something that will take you out of a pressure situation. Not let's watch a movie on the couch, okay? Like, let's go take your dog for a walk, or let's go eat a sundae, or let's go clean the dishes, something like that. Cleaning the dishes, that's a little crazy. Okay, sometimes suggest an activity that is both positive, fun, and realistic. Think of something you could actually do and that would appeal to the other person. Be sure that what you propose is something you can act on then and there. So like taking a walk is probably something you could do. Act on the suggestion. For example, if you say, let's go for a walk, instead, grab the person's hand and start walking. Don't allow room for the pressure to start again. Move. You can also use delay tactics to help you out of the pressure. You can say or do something to break the mood or cool down the situation. For example, change what you're doing. Leave the room temporarily. Got to go to the bathroom. Or take some other action that could shift what's happening. Okay? Say or do something that gives you time to think. Stalling, making an excuse, or asking a question aren't the same as saying no, but you can buy yourself time to make a decision and prepare your clear no statement. Okay, so like, give me a second. Oh, my hair is in my mouth. Oh, like, I need to freshen up, like something like that, okay? If the pressure continues, you can leave the situation. Walk away. Walk away if you can. Refusal skills. So here are some recommendations. You can say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I could get pregnant, so no, I'm not going to risk it. No, my limit is kissing. I'm not going to have sex with you. I said no already, and I mean it. Okay? There's some alternate ones that would be like getting yourself out of the situation. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go see a movie instead. I would do something other than seeing a movie. Let's go get something to eat, or let's go shopping, something like that. I'd much rather go, here we go. I'd much rather go get something to eat. What's your favorite restaurant? I want to talk to you instead. Tell me what you want to do this weekend. Delay tactics, so putting things off. I'm not prepared to think about this right now. I don't feel well, so I'm going home. I need to get some fresh air and I'm going outside. You're joking, right? Okay. So this is some suggestions. Once you're done with watching the movie and reading this, there's a turning off the pressure worksheet that you can make a copy of and put in your stamp. So it's going to give you situations. I want you to do all of these. The important thing is practicing these things and actually writing out what you would say. Be as detailed as possible so you can really think about how you would actually say no. Okay, so here's situation one. I'll just give you a direction. Okay, write, you and your boyfriend or girlfriend have agreed to be abstinent and not go beyond kissing and hugging each other. But this evening, your partner is really pushing you to go past the limits you've set. He and she says, I care about you so much. I just want to feel closer to you. You know we love each other. Okay, what's a clear no statement? No, we talked about the fact that we're not going beyond kissing. Alternative action would be like, oh, why don't we go for a walk and talk about this some more? Because we are going beyond the limits that we set. Delay technique. Oh, my head hurts. Okay. This is, I'd like you to be very specific. It's very important to think of all the options that you could think of and try to think of other delay tactics that you could use. Okay. And write them in there. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you all are doing well. And I wish we could talk about these topics in class. It's usually very dynamic and interesting to talk about the dating and sex stuff. Anyways, miss you all. Have a fabulous day.